guys, it's Carly and Sunny here with another period drama update because there have been so many announcements of historical dramas and classic literature adaptations to talk about. Last time we got together to chat about the upcoming series House of Guinness, which will be released on Netflix later this month, September 25th to be exact. We talked about the movie Hamnet, which will be released in theaters November 27th. That's Thanksgiving for our US folks, and a new adaptation of The Forsytes. Since then, Masterpiece PBS released a trailer of The Forsytes, and I wanted to ask you, Sunny, if you have seen it and what were your thoughts?
I have indeed seen the trailer, and I thought it gave us everything and more. The cinematography looks lush. The costumes are just like absolute perfection. And as somebody who's been like suffering from a Gilded Age hangover, the familiar silhouettes with like the high necks and the bustles and the umbrellas and the hats, I'm like, ooh, yes, like sign me up for this. I'm so excited for it.
Same thing. I was like, Gilded Age fans are going to be swooning over this. They need this. Otherwise, we're just going to be a little sad for another couple years until the next Gilded Age season four. But yeah, it's going to deliver. I'm pretty sure of it.
So we get to see the new cast of the Forsytes in motion in this new trailer, and some things really immediately stuck out to me. First, we've got Joshua Orpin, a very, very suave Soames Forsyte, which I thought was like a huge departure to Damian Lewis's portrayal of him in
Hmm.
in the 2002 version, where he plays very handsome still. I think Damian Lewis is a very attractive actor, but he's more of like a reserved, maybe sort of like awkward Soames
Awkward as
Forsyte.
heck.
Yes,
And
don't you
stoic.
think?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh, totally.
stoic, exactly. But yes, Joshua Orpin, very, very suave, very, very masculine, very I don't know, how would you describe
Charming.
him?
Charming.
Yeah. Ooh, charismatic in a different
Yes,
way.
yes,
Yes, like very
yes.
charismatic. You can see Millie Gibson, who plays Irene Heron, like sort of making eyes to him, which I don't know if we ever got that moment in the 2002 version with Gina McKee. I don't know if she ever sort of like professed any attraction to Damian Lewis as Soames. So
No.
I thought that was an interesting um, yeah, moment between them. And yes, I mean, we have to talk about Millie Gibson as the new Irene Heron. I feel like she's got a more like youthful and exuberant vibe than Gina McKee, which is like great. We love that. It's fresh, it's new. There's scenes of her dancing and like leaping around, whereas Gina McKee brought us a more sort of like a maturity and the sort of like
Yeah,
gravitas. But yeah, what did you think of the new cast?
it feels very different, as you
Hmm.
said. And I did catch that scene where Millie Gibson is dancing, and I thought that was a cool element. Perhaps a different little like a subplot or something, like she has a dance background. Very different. And the thing that stood out to me also was Tuppence Middleton is at the forefront of this trailer. There's so many scenes of her character. Maybe that's why she's not in this Downton Abbey movie because she was filming the
Mm.
Forsytes.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Tuppence Middleton as an actress, so I'm excited to see her role in this too. And Eleanor Tomlinson, there we didn't get a lot of her from the trailer, her character, I don't think.
No, we really didn't. There were moments of her, but it doesn't seem like she is as big of a character. You and I both love
Yeah,
her so much.
I
Definitely looking
know.
forward to seeing her in this.
Yeah, she almost seemed like maybe a mistress character.
She did, you're right.
Yeah, our Demelza is going to be a mistress. But anywho, we want something that's very authentic feeling, a fresh story, because I don't think a lot of modern day viewers have seen the old Forsyte Saga series. So I think they're going to be really blown away by this. And I still don't see like a release date yet. I feel like we have an undetermined date when it's dropping, but we'll be on the lookout. And then Hamnet we talked about last time. And this one has been at the film festivals lately, and the reviews are coming in. Have you seen these reviews, Sunny?
Oh my gosh, yes. The IndieWire review, Paul Mescal and Jessie Buckley rip the heart right out of your body in Chloe Zhao's unspeakably devastating Shakespeare fanfic. Like, what a headline. And I'm pretty sure the first sentence in this article contained the words emotionally pulverizing. So, yeah, I think we're in for a wild ride.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand what they mean. Like, I can't even I can't even wrap my head around it. Like, how is this so devastating and pulverizing? But we'll see. I think we'll have to do a podcast on this because, yeah. Oh, and I also like how they called it Shakespeare fanfic.
Yes, so funny. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess that is what it is, but really elevated fanfic.
Yeah, there you go. Well said. And last time we also mentioned the Amadeus miniseries starring Will Sharp, but I still haven't seen much on that. It seems pretty quiet. Did you see anything recently?
No, I haven't either, and I'm so eager to learn more because the couple of photos we have seen just look so sumptuous. Yeah, really excited for
Yeah.
that one.
So now we're going to get into some new topics. We're going to address the elephant in the room here for period drama fans, which is Wuthering Heights, directed by Emerald Fennell. And just for our fans who maybe are tired of seeing all the the drama and the news around Wuthering Heights, stick with us because we're going to talk about some other lesser known period dramas that are upcoming. But let's dive into Wuthering Heights first.
Yes, Carly, I remember in the last period drama news episode we did, the trailer had not come out yet. We did get a trailer just this past week, and I mean, it's just insane. I'm getting music video vibes. I'm getting fever dream vibes. Um, this all makes sense as Charlie XCX is, I believe, the soundtrack producer on the film. But wow, yeah, so much going on. I know you're a little more tuned into the discourse. What are people saying about the trailer?
I feel like our classic literature buffs, our diehard fans of Emily Bronte's novel, are crying into their pillow at night. They are upset. They feel like it's a brutalization of the novel, and lots of mixed reactions with this trailer. I'm still digesting it. I almost want to say I'm reserving my opinion for when I know a little bit more. That being said, you and I, Sunny, I'm just thinking back to our Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility conversations about the upcoming adaptations. We are pretty welcome accepting. I don't know. I don't know what to think.
I mean, speaking of adaptations, now we've seen the trailer, we've heard some fan theories. I mean, can we call it like a true adaptation? I mean, I know you have seen a really interesting theory that sort of addresses the literal quotation marks around the title Wuthering Heights in the poster and the trailer. What did you think about that theory?
Yeah, so shout out to Stephanie, Swoon-Worthy co-host and a dear friend of mine who sent me that. And I was so glad she did. She's always up to date with the latest videos and stuff. Because that theory that Margot Robbie is potentially, I don't know, a different character, someone more modern who is just obsessed with Wuthering Heights as a story, inserting herself in the classic tale with Jacob Elordi perhaps being like the true Heathcliff. I mean, I almost want to buy it because Heathcliff or Jacob Elordi as Heathcliff in that trailer is very quiet. He's very more traditional Heathcliff. And then Margot Robbie is all over the place. So it almost makes sense, but I don't know. I don't know. What do you believe that theory?
I mean, it's such an interesting theory. I didn't even notice the quotation marks until this person in this, I believe it was like an Instagram reel, pointed it out. And I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. And I believe they also made reference to the fact that the costumes seem to be um like set within different time periods, like throughout the trailer. So maybe it really is
Mm.
some sort of like, I don't know, like hallucination maybe, or
Yeah.
some sort of like self fantasy going on.
Yeah.
I'm really into this. I'm really into this theory, and I'm all for it. If yeah, if it is what it
Yeah.
is, I'm really looking forward to how Emerald Fennell does it.
Yeah, I mean, knowing this director, knowing Saltburn, which, and see, Saltburn to me is Brideshead Revisited with a twist.
Mm,
And that's one of my favorite novels, actually. Some people dislike how she took Brideshead Revisited and made it Saltburn. But, anyways, I feel like we should expect twists and turns from Emerald Fennell, whether it's this theory or not. And costume wise, I want to say I do, and aesthetic wise, I love the white gowns that Margot Robbie is wearing with like the pops of red and like the red Victorian sunnies. Like those are my favorite costume pieces in period dramas. I kind of, I'm kind of digging I don't know, the aesthetic. Do you
yes,
agree?
definitely. I mean, yeah, this has Emerald Fennel written all over it. It's got the sort of, I don't know, would you call it like Gothic vibes that we've
Mm.
seen in her previous films? Okay, the only thing I cannot get behind is Margot Robbie's bridal bouquet. And I know it's such a silly thing, but as a flower person, somebody who's like
Yeah.
in the flower industry, oh my goodness, what were they thinking? I like can't even look at it. It's like I think there's like a blue hydrangea and like hot pink roses maybe. I need to relook at it, but I just like literally like can't look at it. It's so bad. But
That's
I
so
get it. Maybe
funny.
it's an aesthetic choice.
No, I mean, I think the wedding dress looked better than when we had seen those shots of it from the paparazzi. So it looked better than I had imagined, but it still looks a little different. Like it doesn't look like Catherine Earnshaw in Wuthering Heights. So, and then, yeah, the flowers. That's so funny that you mentioned it. Yeah, I get
Oh
you.
my gosh. Okay, also speaking of Catherine Earnshaw, I was like watching Margot Robbie in the trailer as Kathy, and I was like, why does this feel so familiar? And then I realized, okay, who plays Kathy? Margot Robbie. Who wrote Wuthering Heights? Emily Bronte. Who plays Emily in our favorite film ever, Emily, by Frances O'Connor, starring Emma Mackey,
Yeah.
who many people say is like Margot Robbie's doppelganger. And I don't know, something about seeing them both like in these worlds, it just like felt so familiar to me, like almost like deja vu. But yeah,
Hmm.
anyways, that's just a little thing for me.
No, Sunny, I'm with you because so when the casting updates were announced last September, it's been a year actually. We did a little Swoon-Worthy podcast episode about our reactions to the casting updates with my sister Kayla and our friend Anna. In that podcast too, I was like, why didn't they just get Emma Mackey? She's brunette, which is more traditionally Kathy, maybe more of a period face a little bit than Margot Robbie.
Oh
I'm
my
with
gosh,
you.
I don't even remember you saying that, but that's so funny. We're on the same page.
We are on the same page, but regardless, I mean, I have mixed feelings. So, as someone who loves classic literature, this feels like a very drastic step away from Wuthering Heights, the source material, in the casting choices, the costumes, and the tone, the overall tone. But I have to say that as someone who loves cinema and creative takes sometimes on stories, I'm intrigued, you know? I'm curious.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, Carly, I absolutely agree. I am so, so ready for this cinematic experience. I think
Okay.
it'll definitely be that, an experience for sure.
It will. I think that's the thing. I think everyone's going to go see this, whether love it or hate it, whether they're excited or not. They're going to go see it on Valentine's Day next year, 2026. And maybe everyone's going to be like, "Hey, guess what? This actually worked really well." And I almost wondered, Dracula 1992 by Francis Ford Coppola. I wonder if people back then, when they saw that, were just like oh my gosh, this is not Bram Stoker's Dracula. This is a weird, wild, fever dream-like take. And if people were mad about that, or if they were more accepting, and then it got me thinking, are people mad because it's a female director doing this? Would they be treating it the same way if it was a male
Mm.
director? Just wondering.
That is an interesting take I didn't even think about, but very plausible. I also, just for the record, I loved that Dracula. So good. I watched it for the first time recently and I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
also, I watched Saltburn in theaters with my husband, and that was like one of the best theater experiences of my life. Because you know
Oh,
Emerald Fennell, she like loves to shock. Like every scene is
yes.
just shocking, and like getting to react to that in real time with like a live audience, like other people with you, is just like the most fun thing. And I think it's going to be no different
Mm,
for Wuthering Heights.
yeah, no, it really will be. So, all right, so there you have it. Sunny and I have shared our initial thoughts on the trailer. We will learn more as we see it. We'll talk about it. Yeah. Okay. And speaking of taking an adaptation of a famous novel, Victorian Gothic novel as well, right? Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro has come out with his adaptation of Frankenstein. He wrote the screenplay and directed this movie, and it premiered at the Venice Film Festival just in the past few weeks. It already has a 7.5 on IMDb. Of course, that could change from when I say it now and when people look, but to me that's really interesting. That's a pretty decent score. This one also stars Jacob Elordi as the creature and Oscar Isaac as Dr. Victor Frankenstein, and then it has Mia Goth, Christoph Waltz, and Bern Gorman. So the cast is stacked. And Jacob Elordi is getting rave reviews for his performance. So I don't know. I've always been a little questioning of his acting ability. And I'm not saying, it's just because I haven't seen that much of him. But I mean, I've even heard the word Oscar worthy thrown around with this performance. So we shall see. Sunny, have you heard much about Frankenstein? Have you been seeing articles, photos?
No, I actually did not know about Frankenstein before we were preparing for this podcast, but I watched the trailer. It looks very cool, very into it. I'm not gonna lie, when I first watched the trailer, the only thing I could think was Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Have you seen have you
I know
seen
what you're
that
talking
film?
about. I don't think I've seen that. I've seen one of the Wallace and Gromits. I don't know if it was that one.
Very, very similar vibes.
Too
But
funny.
no, really looking forward to this one. And then I did a little bit of like digging and found some interesting IMDb trivia I wanted to bring up. So, Frankenstein was originally planned to be part of Universal Studios' quote unquote monster universe. Did you know about this?
No, do tell.
Okay, so long ago, Universal Studios was planning to create this monster cinematic universe that would include Dracula, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Creature of the Black Lagoon, and The Mummy. Two of them were made, which I didn't even know about, but there was a remake of The Mummy in 2014. Did you know about The Mummy
Is
remake?
this the one with Tom Cruise?
Yes. Yes, Tom
I
Cruise
know
is in
of
this one.
this and I refuse to watch it.
Okay, I suspected as much because I don't remember. I remember you guys did a Mummy episode, and I don't believe that the remake was brought up ever. But yeah, so the Mummy remake with Tom Cruise, and they also did a Dracula remake. Both of them flopped. Both of them were released in 2014, and this concept of the larger monster universe was dropped. And Frankenstein became a standalone film, which I believe, according to reports, Guillermo del Toro was very, very happy about because he just wanted it to be like a standalone thing. But yeah,
Hmm.
I just thought that was so interesting, and I didn't know about this monster universe.
That is fascinating. I really do love that. I mean, I can see why like the film industry would try to launch that, but I agree. A standalone film by this iconic director, he's just so well suited for this. I mean, Pan's Labyrinth is amazing, and Crimson Peak. while the storyline to me is always a little like, you know what I'm talking about. The costuming and the overall feel of that movie is, as you would say, lush. So, yeah, this one is really intriguing. And then that shot of Mia Goth in that like ultramarine blue costume, it's like off the shoulder gown, a feather headpiece, feathers on each side, and a fan. I just find that very striking. It's the same costume designer as Crimson Peak.
Oh, you can totally tell.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Kate Hawley, who collaborated with Del Toro on Crimson Peak from 2015. So I think you and I are going to be just raving over those costumes after we see it.
Oh my gosh, yes. Can't wait for them.
And Frankenstein is coming to theaters October 17th for limited release, but we can expect it to hit Netflix on November 7th, which I think is really cool. I didn't expect it to be on Netflix so soon.
So we've recently gotten some more news about Netflix's latest foray into period drama series, The Age of Innocence, written by Emma Frost, who's done The White Queen, The White Princess, and The Spanish Princess. And as soon as I heard Emma Frost, I was like, sign me up. I loved all three of those series. They were lavish, romantic, very entertaining, and made stars of Rebecca Ferguson and Jodie Comer. So very, very excited for this TV series adaptation of the very famous Edith Wharton novel. The casting has just been announced on social media. I'm not personally familiar with many of these actors and actresses, but we've got Camilla Moroni, who will play Ellen Olenska. She, I believe, is in Daisy Jones and the Six. Christine
Yeah.
Froseth as May Welland, who plays Nan in Apple TV's The Buccaneers, and Ben Radcliffe as Newland Archer, who is in Masters of the Air and one episode of The Witcher. There's no release date as of yet, but this is a Netflix series. And Carly, I believe you have seen the 1993 adaptation directed by Martin Scorsese.
Yes, yes. And this one is kind of like a quintessential period drama, I would say. People love this movie. I think there are big shoes to fill with this new adaptation. Not that it's not going to be great, because you and I have also talked about how sometimes having a series where you can really dig into the story versus a quick movie, that's something we look forward to. So, yeah, I'm excited.
So I actually haven't seen the 1993 film.
Oh,
It's been on my watch list forever. And it's like, I feel like I'm almost afraid to watch it because it just sounds so perfect. Like, it's directed by
mm.
Martin Scorsese, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Winona Ryder. Like, come on. Like, how could it get more perfect than that? And I think this is like the kick in the butt I need to finally watch it before the Netflix series comes out.
Yeah. Well, I'm really curious what your take on that movie will be, because it's, I would say it's slow paced. They take their time with the production design, the costuming. There's a striking red dress worn by Michelle Pfeiffer in it. Winona Ryder as May Welland, I just adore. She got a Best Supporting Actress Oscar nomination for this.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
hmm And I can't wait to hear your take on it. But that being said, I don't think it's my favorite. Like, it's not one that I pop in all the time. Like, it's kind of a long drama, and you have to kind of prepare yourself to watch it. So maybe it's just right that you're preparing yourself. Let's talk about some of the casting choices here. Camilla Morrone, I think is how you pronounced her name. This is, yeah, Daisy Jones in the Six. She plays a character called Camilla in that. Love Daisy Jones in the Six. I will say some people think she doesn't have period face.
Mm.
So we shall see. I think she can pull it off. Yeah, and the younger actress to play May Welland in this from the Buccaneers, so definitely has gotten her feet wet in the period drama world, I would say. And I don't know Ben Radcliffe at all, but I yeah, I'm looking forward to this. And the one thing I'll say at the end here about the 1993 adaptation by Martin Scorsese, he has famously said that this is his most violent movie, Age of Innocence. Interesting quote, right?
Wow. From somebody who directed Goodfellas, that's saying something.
Yeah. Yeah. But the society people can just rip
Wow.
people apart in a
I
violent
think
way.
this will also satisfy the Gilded Age itch that I'm sure people are feeling right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the Gilded Age has paved the way for so many period dramas
Oh, why do you say so?
because there's such a fan base and the ratings are so high, the viewings are so high, like a huge audience. And I think that it's giving a bit of credibility to these, the people behind the scenes who are saying, like, I've got this idea for this period drama, or I want to remake this period drama. I think it's letting people are making the decision now to say yes.
That's so interesting. And I think you're right because I mean, you and I obviously love period
Yeah.
dramas, but I'm very aware that there is a certain sort of maybe like feeling or stereotype around maybe like a niche genre of like film and TV that not everybody is into, but like if you're into it, you're really, really into it.
Yes.
And I feel like you're right, like HBO creating a period drama TV series that was as big, like the production value for The Gilded Age was so high. It's like critically acclaimed with an A-list cast. I think you're right about that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so maybe that's why we're experiencing this like influx of news and casting updates and announcements. I don't know, but that's a theory. The Gilded Age. Gotta applaud them.
Some exciting news for fans of the 1988 film Dangerous Liaisons. We're getting a prequel series produced by HBO Max France titled Merteuil. This series follows the rise to power of the young Isabelle de Merteuil, Glenn Close's character in the famous 1988 adaptation. I have just recently found out about this. I am so excited as someone who recently watched Dangerous Liaisons for the first time. Carly, I must tell you, when I watched it, I thought, judging from the poster, that it was going to be a romantic comedy. Boy, was I wrong. A
Yeah,
gut
it's a
punch
drama.
again and again. But man, the characters were so interesting and weird and dark and twisted. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing all these characters come back as their younger selves for this new TV series. Carly, do you want to talk about the cast?
I really do because this has someone who I've been a fan of for so many years, Diane Kruger. And I know, Sunny, you and I both have talked about Farewell, My Queen from 2012, a French period drama starring Diane Kruger as Marie Antoinette. It's an underrated film, I would say, and an underrated performance of hers. Of course, a lot of people know her from National Treasure, 2004, Inglourious Basterds, 2009, which is one of my top 20 films. Yeah, you too? Yeah. Oh my gosh, I didn't know this about you, Sunny. And then Joyeux Noël, which is a 2005 period drama. And it's this beautiful, underrated French film. And Diane Kruger, did you know that she speaks French and German as well as English?
I knew she spoke German because of Inglourious Basterds, a film
Yeah.
I also love. She was brilliant in that.
Yeah.
But no, I did not know she was trilingual because I don't think
Yeah.
she speaks French in that film. But no, wait, of course she does because Farewell, My Queen.
She
Diane
does.
Kruger, our period queen. I'm so excited to see her in this. She plays a character. I looked her up, the character's name. I don't remember this character from the 1988 film. Do you?
No, I don't. It might go back to the original source material, the novel, which I haven't read, admittedly, but or they're just, creating some new characters. The leading actress who plays Isabelle de Merteuil is Anna Maria Bartolomei, and I did get to see the 2024 French version of The Count of Monte Cristo, and her beauty on the screen was just electrifying. So I'm really excited to see her in this. And the photos, the stills that you and I both looked at from this movie, don't they look beautiful?
Yes, there's one behind the scenes photo. I believe it is her standing on a cliff and her wedding veil is like pressed up against her face in the wind, and it's so beautiful. I love a wedding veil. Really excited. Yeah, really excited to see this. I noticed that there are quite a few familiar character names,
Ooh,
which is to be expected. But we have in the upcoming series the return of Madame de Tourvel, who was played by Michelle Pfeiffer in the 1988 film, Vicomte de Valmont, played by John Malkovich, of course, and Cécile de Volange, played by Uma Thurman. Um, yes, and I believe the character that Diane Kruger plays in the new adaptation, her name is Rosamond.
I we'll just have to wait and see how this
Yeah.
gets made and when it's released. I don't think we have a release date. However, this will be streaming on HBO Max, I imagine, because this is produced by HBO Max France. Also noting that the director, Jessica Palud, was a third assistant director of Marie Antoinette 2006 by Sofia Coppola, like an assistant.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yes. And I thought that was a really cool connection because Marie Antoinette is the best movie ever. And
Amen.
yeah.
All of these characters come back as their younger selves. I'm really curious to see how they sort of like interweave all of these very different storylines because I believe Uma Thurman's character in the original film, she spent most of her young adult life in a convent, being educated there. And so I guess they won't all be in the same location at once. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe they do cross paths earlier in their lifetimes, and this somehow has bearing or consequence to the events of what happens in the 1988 film adaptation. Yeah, really looking forward to this.
That is cool. That is a good point. Yeah, like parallel tracks or something. Interesting. All right, there you have it. We have covered a few new period dramas that are upcoming. We also talked about the hot topic of Wuthering Heights 2026. That's coming in February. And we mentioned some of the period dramas we talked about in our previous episode of this upcoming period drama series we are launching within Swoon-Worthy podcast. So, thank you all for tuning into our conversation today. We invite you to like and subscribe to us, Swoon-Worthy Podcast, on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you have a friend who you think would be interested in this podcast, whether it's one of our episodes, our full-length episodes, or an upcoming period drama episode, please share that with your friend. We want to grow as a community of historical drama enthusiasts. Thank you, Sunny, for joining me in this conversation on all of these newly released, newly announced titles.
Oh, thanks, Carly, so much for having me. I love chatting period drama news with you.
Yeah, I think we could do it all day if we if you left
Oh,
us
we
to
could.
it. All right, catch you next time. Bye.